tough loss for the Phillies last night. Ran up against. Sometimes you just run up against some hot pitching, and their first baseman Tommy Joseph, kind enough to join us for a couple moments. How are you, Tommy?
Hey, I'm doing well, Rich. How are you?
I'm doing well, pal. Good to talk to you again, and appreciate a couple moments. And like I just said, sometimes you run up against some hot pitching. That's what you guys ran into last night with Pittsburgh. But I'm curious, when you look at the season as a whole, and we know it's been a tough season for you guys. I'm just wondering, first of all, from a mental standpoint, how do you find a way to just keep that positivity going and show up every day at the ballpark, knowing that sometimes you'll run into some hot pitching or the offense goes south a little bit, or sometimes you just might have those long days at the ballpark?
Yeah, I mean, we understand that this is the game of baseball. It's a tough game. We know that we're a very close group inside that clubhouse. We do a good job kind of policing each other and making sure that we have that positivity going. When we start a ball game, I mean, you get to see great things happen, like Freddie Galvis hitting a homer the day his daughter was born. It was just 2 days ago. So there's little things like that throughout a season that really kind of lift your spirits and really put a smile on your face and keep you going.
I think too, and you know this, right? Luck it has a lot to do in the game of baseball. You guys were 24-17 in May last year. You had in one-run games, I think you were 14-3, 4-0 in extra innings. This year, kind of a reversal of fortune, right? 11-21 in one-run games. When you look at even the last several games, stranding the runners on third base, not getting, not being able to move guys across. Listen, I know it's been a tough year from you guys. I know you've had your ups and downs. Franco has struggled this season. Maybe he's pressing. Herrera was fine, and he was benched, and he admitted lack of concentration. Galvis frustrated the other day, basically calling out the team saying, we got to play better. Let me ask you this, and I'm not asking to put you on the spot. I'm not asking you to speak for other players. Do you believe that these guys are busting it night in and night out? Are they giving the manager 100% in your eyes?
Yeah, absolutely. That's our job. Our job is to show up every day and make sure that we do that. And if you're not doing that, then there's no reason to be here. And somebody inside this clubhouse will let you know if they feel that you're not doing it the right way. That 11-21 and run ball games. I mean, that's tough right there. Those are things that there's quite a few games in there that we should have won, and we know that we should have won. The runner on third base, less than 2 outs, getting the runners across. Yeah, that's a big part of us not scoring a lot of runs. Everybody is aware of that. It's something that we're constantly working on to make sure that for the next 5 games before the All-Star break and then the second half of the season, that we're a better ball club, that we can continue to get better, to make strides, so that our fan base and so that us as a team can kind of build off of that energy.
And then I'll move on after this point because I don't want to beat that horse. So you mentioned that when guys get called out, that's the way it has to be with this team in that locker room. Does it seem that you've got that set of guys that they won't take it personal, but they'll take it personal in the sense where they will take it for heart, but there's not going to be any type of dissension. You know this, right? When you start to lose, or you have 8 out of 10 or 10 in a row or 9 out of 13, and all of a sudden you just think, from a mental standpoint, man, we don't even have a chance to win today. And then all of a sudden that trickles down in that locker room. Guys are pressing, guys are arguing, guys are bickering. Locker rooms can become divided. Players start to really just play for themselves. Each at-bat is all about them. It seems from what you're saying, though, you don't get a sense with these guys. You don't get that sense.
I don't get that sense. No, I don't get that sense at all. But you're right. We spend a lot of time together. I mean, we're spending 10, 12 hours a day together for, 180, 200 days a year. So when we're spending that much time together, we're gonna have a close bond, and we're gonna understand, how to talk to each other. How am I gonna get the best out of my teammate? How are they gonna get the best out of me? Whether it's yelling at me, picking me up. There's certain things that you learn as a teammate. There's certain things that you understand as a teammate, and that's just part of the game that those little intangibles that mean so much that really can set teams apart.
couple minutes with Phil's first baseman. Tommy Joseph joins us right here on a Wednesday. Rich Quinones here. Phil's dropped a 3-0 decision last night to the Pirates, trying to win the series tonight. Again, first pitch 7:05 at the ballpark. You know, it's funny because I was a little critical of you to start the season. I thought you were pressing a little bit, and we look at your numbers last season. You know, the power numbers are there, and I know by your own admission you wanted to cut down on the strikeouts. What's happened this year with some of these strikeouts? Are you pressing too much? Are you trying to force the issue? Because I thought one of your best at-bats this season had to be against DMs and when you worked the full count on Diaz, and then you turned on that fastball. I really thought, okay, you know what? Fouled off some pitches, showed me some patience. What do you attribute the strikeouts to, and what are you trying to work on to cut down on those strikeouts?
Yeah, well, I understand why you were critical. I mean, the first month I was a pretty bad baseball player. Not a lot of things were going my way. I was in between. I don't know if I would say that I was pressing, but I expected a lot more out of myself. And going into the last couple of months, every day or every week or every month, you try to, all right, let's start fresh. We need to, kind of clear the slate to ease up some of that tension that you put on yourself mentally. This game is, it can be very hard between the ears. So you try to ease up some of the tension where you can, and try to do a little bit less. As for the strikeouts, I mean, there's a lot of really good pitchers in this league.
Oh, no doubt.
That's one of those things. It's going to come with the game,
right?
There's definitely been a few at bats out there that you just kind of you wonder. You're like, wow, I can't believe I just missed that pitch. But that's
right.
That's kind of part of it. It's kind of all right. You got to have that that quick erase board in your mind. All right, forget about that. Let's move forward. Let's try to get better. In this game too, some people don't realize this is the first time that you've seen some of these pitchers.
Yep.
So you're trying to learn on the fly while you're trying to do things for your team, get hits. There can be a lot going on. The strikeouts are going to come with the game with what I try to do. Eliminating that is really just making sure that it's so easy to kind of not lose focus, but kind of get out of your approach while you're at the plate. During your at bat, you start to feel comfortable, and you're like, all right, I'm going to try to do a little bit more here. And then next thing you know, you're 1-2, and you're like, how'd that happen?
Who's been? Give me one or two of the tougher guys you faced this year. Really just giving you fits.
Well, I mean, Matt Stearns is a pretty easy one to give you.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that's a tough competitor. That he's a blast to face because, he's got that bulldog mentality out there, and he's going to give you everything you got. So you try to give everything back. He's one of the best in the game for a reason. It's the major leagues. There's going to be a lot of those guys.
Everyone's throwing 98. Everyone's throwing 100. You're seeing heat on every pitch, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Let me let chat on this one. I appreciate a couple moments. Again, when you go back to the season as a whole, and you guys had the solid start last year, and everyone, you get good, strong pitching. You get the starting rotation. You're not going to wear too much on that bullpen, and then we see what's transpiring this year. Listen, top to bottom, the offense has struggled. We know that. It's been one of those down years. It happens. But do you get the sense, second half of the season, and I'm curious for this too, do you guys get the sense at all that you are trying to play and help your manager out? You're playing for his job? Because at the end of the day, there's always a fall guy, and this. It's unfortunate. At the end of the day, if a team struggles, you have to look from the top to bottom, then you start to look at the manager. So I'm wondering, are you guys putting more pressure on yourself? Look, let's start playing some winning baseball in the second half. Let's make Pete Maccann's job a little easier so we can see him going forward, and he's going to be the skipper for the skipper going forward. And also, do you get this sense that you can turn it around a little bit and play much more competitive baseball in the second half?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see why we can't play more competitive baseball. We want those one-run games. We want that record to be flipped, if not even better than that. We're capable of doing a lot of great things on the ball field. Our starting pitching has been tremendous as of late.
It has.
We we've played great defense behind them. There's been, a few games where we haven't scored enough runs for them. We're continuing to pick up each other. We understand that the game of baseball, there's going to be times where, you give up more runs than you can score, and then you score a lot of runs, and then you give up more. And it's part of what happens. It's a matter of eliminating some of the little things that you can control. As for playing for Pete and Pete's job, we're playing to win ball games. The more ball games that we win, the better off, Pete will be in his job situation. I think, we're going to play for each other as a team and make sure that we, take care of our business every day, make sure that we show up ready to play, ready to win, ready to kick somebody's butt every day, and kind of just go from there.
Hey, Tommy, I appreciate it. Listen, I do appreciate the honesty. It's rare that you get a ball player on the line that says, yeah, I stunk for a month or two. So I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, you got it. Be well. Good luck second half of the season, pal.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, you got it. Tommy Joseph, Phil's first baseman.